Shall I call us to order and then people can join us? Or
That
let me,
sounds good.
I have
Good
to
idea.
go through my,
Yeah. Your spiel.
I have to confirm that we can hear everyone. So I'll just call a roll call. Mita,
Aye.
Christina,
Aye.
Pan.
Aye.
Okay, that's good. Sarah.
Aye.
All right, so good evening. This is an open meeting of the Grafton Cultural Council is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. Due to the state emergency of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. Although I don't know if I need to read this part anymore because now it's kind of a choice to be remote or it's not mandated, but the order is posted on the town's website at www.grafton.ma.gov. Allows public schools to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so long that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. I don't think. For this meeting, the Grafton Cultural Council is convening by Zoom as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and that take care not to share screen your computer, although I will be sharing some of the documents we have tonight. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All right, so I'll call up the agenda. I will share my screen number 2, which right now. Hey, Danny made it.
Yeah, hi, I'm here.
Great.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, so our agenda, everyone is here so far. We all know each other, and I do have the meeting minutes called up. Was everyone able to review them and look at them to see if you saw anything that needed to be corrected or changed?
Sorry, as I'm mute, I didn't see anything that needed to be changed.
Yeah, I didn't either. Do you want me to move the screen or anything, or has everyone read them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so do I hear a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
I motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Okay, and who'll second?
I'll second.
All right, Christina second. I'll call roll call. Mita,
Aye.
Christina,
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Pan,
Aye.
Danny,
Hi.
and Julie is aye. All right, so those are approved. So review outcomes of applications disapprovals. Did you get any feedback?
So no, we didn't. They have a new system for online rejection letters at Massachusetts Cultural Council. So it was just announced as we ended our meeting. So I went straight on there and used it. So that was done. So straight away. So the date, we would need to record the date on which we disapproved the applications, and the date was November the 18th, which is going to say it arrived the next day, so November the 18th, 2021.
Wow.
And we have received no pushback on that. No one has asked if we can reconsider. So we can now consider those 3 applicants to be disapproved.
Very good. All right. So review information on the 2022 panel applications. That's that Excel that I have.
Right.
Okay. So Mita set up all the applicants, and this is in the order that they applied.
Here
Or
in the
did,
panel book.
yeah, in the panel book. So I'm not going to call it the panel book, but I have this kind of hyphenated form where it shows what they initially asked for, what the budget is, and what our suggested grant is. Now, with the 3 rejected applicants out, just to show you at the bottom, we're looking at, there's 18,500 in requests, right? Is
Right.
that it? And we have 11,496 to distribute. So,
Correct.
all right, I'm going to leave it to you if you want to walk us through it, Mita.
Sure. So basically what I've done is we discussed some of these grants last time, and we basically discussed the fact that where it was the rec centre or Grafton Public Library, or whether it was basically a school applying for a grant, we would normally speaking give them the full cost so they could hold the event. So what I've done in the column to the right is suggest what I believe we agreed. So I would like to go through those first to talk about that. So we had Blackstone Tech School, who were given a grant last year, 2021 this is. They've got this new one called Share Your Light, which is an outside chalk exercise. They asked for $500 out of a budget of $2,500, and we agreed to give them the full amount. As a school, we normally give them the full amount. Does anyone have an objection to that?
I do not.
No.
Okay. I don't need to make any motions, just wanted to make sure I'm not misinterpreting the desire of the council. So the next one that we talked about at some length during the last meeting was Gateway Academy, where they'd asked for keyboards, and we had discussed that we would probably provide a keyboard, since they have a number of other towns they've applied to. So I put in the amount of money they requested for a keyboard, which was $1,220, sorry. Going down to the Grafton Public Library, they had sponsored a program of animal adventures with some exotic animals in it. And they had said that if their budget was cut, they would have to, did someone suggest guinea pigs? I think it might have been Pan suggested guinea pigs they might have to use, but anyway, they wouldn't have had quite something exotic experience.
Remind me, is it an endangered species?
No.
So I think we felt that we would probably give them the full grant so they could go ahead and do that. So I have the full amount down there. Just to mention that we have actually supported the Grafton Public Library to a full amount for the probably the last 5 years. So we do that constantly. We also had a repeat application from Chainsaws and Cheeseburgers at Grafton Middle School, very enthusiastic response for the last year's performance, and $500, which is the same price as it was last year. And we agreed that we would normally fund anything that's school related. So we're putting in $500 for that. On a similar note, the Millbury School has an archaeology outreach project for its kids, going to be online. The date not yet decided, but they're going to be doing this sometime soon. And at the moment, they have $1,000 as their request, which is the full cost of that artist's time. And we have agreed at the moment to give them the full amount. The next one that we looked at in some detail was talking about the dance chair exercise for seniors. We talked about the fact that the price has increased since the last 2 years. It was about 280 last year, and now it's 500. They are giving about 2 performances, and the first couple of years might have been less than they actually spent on this. So it seems a reasonable amount for 2 performances. So at the moment we're proposing to get, and they have $100 already available to them, so that leaves 500, which is what they've asked for. So at the moment I have them as a full grant for that. And lastly, we have a town of Grafton Rec Department have asked for a modest amount. Sometimes they ask for more than this, and this is a reasonably standard amount. It used to be the standard amount, we normally do try and give them all they ask for. Now, bear in mind, obviously, if we have a very low amount of money to grant, which has happened in the past, there may have been times when we couldn't meet full grants for all of these different activities, but this year we can. So at the moment, if you add up all those ones, we have a total of $5,670, which means we have $5,825 left in our budget to spend, to allocate to the other artists. Does anyone have any questions about the calculation so far?
No questions.
Okay, that's great. So we will approve the whole thing at the end. So, but if you have anything you want to talk about. So is there, looking up and down this list, can I first ask if anyone is actually wanting particularly to sponsor one applicant in full that they feel passionately about? And before we do that, perhaps we could hear from Sarah, who's while you're thinking about that, sorry, perhaps we can hear from Sarah, who talked to one of the grant applications and gave us some feedback by email. Just wanted to know if everyone had read that email and found out about the country music performance that's mentioned at the right at the bottom. Down at the bottom, Julie.
Yep.
Yeah. So York, Matt York. Sorry, I couldn't have wrong
Right.
around. Yeah. I personally felt, reading your email, Sarah, that he came up, he adjusted his budget, fought quickly on his feet, found a venue. So I thought he was a good applicant.
Yeah, I agree. He got back to me within a day, agreed that the space, now that he had spoken to the folks over at the library, that he could significantly reduce his request. So he almost cut it in half.
Yeah.
Yep. So now he's only asking for the $300 for the performance fee and then the travel expenses for $50. He was able to secure a location at the library and provide a date. So he got back to us well within the time frame and was able to provide a much more updated budget request to reflect what he actually needed.
That's great. So I think all the remaining grants applications are in the frame. I don't know, I said, has anyone got one they want to nominate for the full cost? I felt that the songs and stories probably deserve the full cost. It's a new application, different kind of music. And I thought the cost for a performance is very reasonable. If we don't fund him in full, it may be difficult for him to actually do the concert at all. And so I think it has value to me to give it a full grant.
I would be in agreement with that, especially because it
I
is
would
something
too.
new and it would be different, and I agree with that.
So if we could, Julie, could you enter 350 there if no one has any disagreement with that? And we'll see how we go. Anyone else got something that they feel passionately about?
Yeah, I mean, I would be very curious to maybe see maybe our first year applicants, that, you know, those organizations that have never applied before, and, you know, if it makes sense to, you know, if the budget allows, you know, we can think about awarding some of that to the first timers. because, you know, it's
Right.
the
So,
community.
so in that category, it's Bob Jordan Concert Band,
Is that what it
who
is?
have
I
asked,
can't remember the,
who have asked for 575.
Who
And
else was
the-
first?
yeah, new application.
I know who.
We
Um,
already discussed.
They were new.
Yeah, we already discussed those. Then
Oh, I know.
we have Alhambra, and we have the Juneteenth.
I was going to mention
right.
the Juneteenth application as one that I think we should consider.
I definitely agree with you. I just didn't know if we necessarily agreed that we would want to spend 900 on it. So, but I would certainly want to support it. Well, all these ones which are on this list need supporting. The Juneteenth one, I think, is a new idea and a new area.
I forget, what was that called? The
It's up a
Juneteenth.
bit.
It's
Sorry,
the Grafton Rise.
Okay,
That's at the mill, at the,
Grafton racial
yeah.
inclusion and social equality.
Right.
here it is. Thank you.
Julie, is there
Yeah.
any way to make this a little bit bigger?
Yes,
I feel like
absolutely.
I'm
All
going blind.
right, is that better?
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
That's better. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'll just have to scroll more, so I hope I don't make you dizzy, but yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm looking on a huge monitor. So do you want it bigger even?
It's fine for me.
No,
Okay,
that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
okay. Very good. Were any of the other ones new? Patrick Smith, I think, was new also,
No,
Afternoon of
he's
Wrath.
done it. This is his third year.
Oh, sorry. I didn't remember. All
The
right,
dance performance people 15152.
yeah,
They were supported originally in 2019,
okay,
but they
I
changed the
see.
venue to Boston, so they never got paid anything.
Right. Right. All right, well,
let's see how much is that if we add up all the.
all the new ones,
Mhm.
I'll pop them in at their full amount to start. Wait,
Yeah,
he was new.
Yeah.
575. 900.
So for the one for the keyboard, I remember we said we are gonna purchase or at least give them the ability to get one.
Yeah,
That's
Keyboard.
in there already, Pan.
or
that's
did we
in
already
there.
get-
I've already put that into the calculation.
So if we do all of the freshman applicants, we'll have 3,000 left over. If we
Did we do the
almost
Alhambra?
fully,
Sorry, Chair. Did we do the Alhambra, the first one? Is that include that one?
right now it does, at its full amount.
Okay, right. I would not necessarily support that full amount. It's not a Grafton activity.
Yep.
So I would feel that I would feel that's too much to give them.
And I can't remember, did they also apply to a lot of cultural
They're more
councils?
Shrewsbury based, so they had more
Yeah.
Shrewsbury, Auburn, Worcester. And also
Mhm.
their audience is restricted to the children who go to the school.
Right.
So
Right.
my feeling is that I sort of feel that it's not necessarily a requisite for us to have it, give it full grant. And I think at the moment we probably can't afford it. So
Yeah, I would
so
agree
my
with that.
recommendation at the moment would probably maybe put 300 in there as a placeholder.
I would
This is
agree
good.
with that, especially
Yep.
if they get grants from the other towns, they would probably be able to
Right.
get it the full amount. Mhm.
Right.
So what did that leave us with, Chair?
3,700.
Well, I sort of wondered about the Juneteenth celebration, and I just wondered about whether the cost of the wool seemed a bit excessive. Yarn, sorry.
Yep.
So
Sorry.
I would suggest that we could maybe shave a couple of $100 off that if we want to. Does anyone have any strong views on that?
If we do 700,
Yeah, I thought so.
I think that would be reasonable.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
I think
great.
they're also asking for other sources, right, for funding.
No, I don't know if they are actually. This is very much a Grafton thing, Pan. So I don't think they are. But it's just that I wasn't sure about the budget's accuracy in terms of
I see.
the cost of the yarn that they quoted.
Right. We remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Bob Jordan concert band, they are, it's a new thing, and they are Grafton residents playing and at the Grafton venue. So I think that's a good thing to do.
Mhm.
Just looking at the application for Rise right now, and
Okay.
the yarn is $450. They mention 32 wooden poles to support the foam for the art installation, which is $400, and scissors and cutting the yarn and everything for $50. So the yarn is actually only $450.
Mhm.
Yes, I realise that, but I mean, maybe it's me, but I just thought that was a little bit much for yarn.
Well, I think that based on what they're saying, they want it's the whole, they want every person to be able to use the yarn.
But the
Every
number of people they actually specified in the application, Daniel, how many people they say will be served?
Um,
Sorry, I'm letting you do the work. I'm just.
right, that's right. I have it in front of me. It says an estimate of 50 people, which I think might be low. They say 25 youth served. So I don't know if those numbers are supposed to be added together because they're separate in the application. Estimated number of people served is 50, and then total number of youth served is 25. But it is a free public event, which might get a lot of participants.
So what did they
think the
say
cost of-
would happen if they don't have a full budget from us? Did they say they wouldn't hold it?
It says that they will fund the project through member contributions if they don't have it. And then they will use less expensive materials to create the art, which could lead to a less impressive finished design.
Well, I think maybe we could come back to this, but at the moment I feel that maybe the $200 would be best directed somewhere to someone else.
Okay.
But certainly, I mean, that was the only reason that I was feeling, I thought 450 for yarn for 50 people was probably a bit much. If you say it's more people, I think that's, obviously I'm maybe exaggerating, but that's just my feeling based on the budget.
Yeah.
Can we leave it at that, Daniel, and maybe come back to it at the end if we have money we feel we
Sure,
could
of course.
spend wisely on it?
Yeah.
I think it's very important to support it.
Yes.
I just don't know if we need to give them 900.
Yeah, I mean, if they can cut down the number of polls from, what is it, 32 to, maybe 22, if they cut down 10 polls, then they obviously would need less material, but it depends on how many
Right.
people show up, right? If they have 100 people, then.
Yeah.
not
It
only
depends
they
how
have-
much yarn they're using, as well. Are they looping
Right.
it, just putting a loop on, or they are actually,
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah, I think we can definitely come back. I appreciated that we can have this conversation because they included all of this information in the application, and the other applications were guessing what they're going to spend the money on.
I agree, Daniel.
I agree with that as well.
I have to say, I don't know for their installation how high end they were going to go with their yarn, but like you can get a skein of yarn for $4.50. So that's, I think, why it seems like for the $400 would be a lot for
it's
yarn.
about 100 yards, is that right, Julie, you're thinking?
What was that?
How many yards of yarn? is
Oh,
that?
I don't know. How much is in a skein? I don't
Sure.
knit
They're
I
asking the
haven't
wrong
got
or
them down
anything, so I
already.
don't know. That's why I had to look up.
Yeah.
I looked up on my phone how much a skein
I
is.
know I can buy a skein of wool Michael what you call it? Not Michael's, Joanne's for $3 or something.
Right. But I don't know if they were thinking of really nice
That's about
wool
50
as
yards. I think
opposed to acrylic. So I don't know.
50 yards or
How,
something.
how far the poles are spaced out too. I mean, that could be where
Yeah,
the
that's
amount comes
true.
in too, because if they're considering like 100 yards, if they're trying to make a very big area
That's
and
true.
they need to actually like tie a couple of things of yarn together, I mean, that could be where that cost is coming from as well.
That's
Yeah, I
true.
got the impression they would be tying a piece of yarn onto a pole, but it wasn't clear when we discussed. It wasn't clear from the
Yeah.
application.
I think
Yeah.
I think the way that I read it is that individuals are going to use the poles to self-identify and use the yarn to connect the poles that they are connected together. Does that make sense? So that the
Yeah.
art installation is showing how we are all connected, which means I individually might use a whole thing of yarn.
It
This
is
is true.
277 yards per skein.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be quite a lot. Thank you.
I asked Alexa, but she didn't know, so I asked my phone instead.
I was thinking 250, so that sounds about right.
All right. Well, let's
Shall we,
think if
shall
we
we look
just
at some of the others?
hold on it and let's look at the others. I gave it a different color so that we'll make sure we'll come to a consensus on it once we look at more.
Is there anyone else who feels that particular activity it gets their full support?
I mean, the one I did, we've already decided to grant, so. Okay.
So how much do we have left on that basis, Julie?
3,900.
Okay. So Whipple, the pianists, if we want to go
Yep.
up now from there, they are a repeat. They're a little bit more than they were last year. They did actually have a good performance, and it was done on the TV. And as Daniel found out, they repeat things a lot, so it got a lot of exposure. I feel that we should at least give them a reasonable budget. I was going to suggest $500.
We can start there.
It is a local thing because it's a Grafton TV.
I'm just going to give it this other color because these are the numbers that will end up shifting
Yeah.
and trading around.
Absolutely. So then the other one I would like someone to talk to would probably be the Apple Tree Arts. That's another very local thing for us.
I'm just going to move up. Okay.
Now, they made it clear in the application this was the overall budget was based on, running the whole course. And they've asked for the 1,800. I don't want to speak too much length on this, but I do think they're a local community activity that we should support. I'm just not sure we can afford to give them 1,800.
Yeah, I think it's quite a lot. If we use 1,800 there, then we are basically left with very little to kind of
Right. So, but they are a worthy cause and they're very local. So I would like.
How much did we give last year?
Well, we gave them a lot because they had a child one of the few programs which was going even though in the middle of COVID, and they had early learning music education for preschool, and they held them outside, and we gave them a full grant.
Yeah, this is the first
It's a
time
different
they've
activity.
Yeah,
very
this is the
different
first time
activity.
they've applied with the community chorus.
I think they applied in 2015, Julie, if
Oh,
my memory serves me
Before
right.
I was here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also have to think about the device, the diversity of all the activities, right? How many community chorus activities we've got? We've got some concerts, we've got some.
Well, they have people who sing every week. So, they have people who actually are practicing the music, so to speak. And you have someone to lead them and an accompanist. And then you have the concerts where they perform.
Right.
Yep. And their concerts range from September through June. So there's quite a few of them, I believe.
There's just two
Yeah.
concerts.
Or
Or,
just two? Okay.
it's
One
the
at-
winter one.
Got
And
it.
Grafton
sometimes it's
celebrates the
multiple.
holidays. Yeah,
and then one in the spring.
This
Yeah.
this says that there are 4 public performances in January and June. And it says that they plan to apply in Northbridge, Sutton, Millbury, and Shrewsbury.
Right.
So they are planning they are applying
Right.
other places as well.
Yep.
can we maybe give them 500 as a placeholder? They are a very local institution.
I was gonna say 600, so we're pretty close.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'm throwing it at 6.
Yeah.
okay.
I was thinking,
Again.
I was thinking higher, but I think we have to look, we have to consider all the other places too.
Yeah. We have to see.
Alphabet Valley Mass Singers, so I left the singers off there. This is their concert season. The main reason we give them money is because they actually do give free tickets for seniors. They have 5 concerts with free senior tickets available. And I would suggest that we give them 150 for the moment. That's what we'd normally do
Okay.
when we don't have enough money. The Blackstone Valley Art Association, this is the 3rd year they've applied for this. It is a very local activity. It has been a very local activity. It was online in 2020. I haven't seen what happened in 21. They haven't yet submitted their reimbursement request. As this is the 3rd year in a row, my inclination would be to give them less than the full amount they asked for. I recommend 200 as being a reasonable amount.
We will start there.
The Blackstone Valley Community Chorus, it's a concert. It's not a local concert given, but it does, have quite a lot of local people who go to the concert, but it's not in the Grafton area. It's down back in Blackstone Valley. We normally give them a token gesture. My suggestion, we'd probably give them 150. The Whittingville Community Outreach Program, we gave them 150 in 2020, and they were very pleased with that because actually they didn't have any costs in 2021 because they couldn't hold on to anything. I think we should give them something. As everyone on this list, I would start with 150. I'm not keeping track of the amount.
I know.
So,
We'll see when we
Yeah.
get to the bottom where we are.
sure. With a dance performance, that Indian dance performance, it's very isolated to the school itself and the parents and students.
Mhm.
However, when we last supported it in 2019, because it was a new area of dance, we had few applicants and quite a lot of money to spend. If they have it at a local high school, and they had suggested Grafton as an alternative, then I think it would be an interesting thing to watch. And it's a different area, the Indian dance. It is a different area. So I think we should support them, but I don't think that we should support them by anywhere near the amount they asked for. At the moment, I would probably recommend we put in $200. Does anyone disagree with that? They want more, do shout, because, The afternoon of brass, Patrick Smith has applied a couple of years. He's kept his budget requests pretty modest compared to the amount he actually spends. Usually he offers some free tickets, if puts them in the library and things like that. I think in 2020 was the last time we actually had some tickets sent to us, but there were quite a number of free ones made available. The music is very good, and it helps support things like Mechanics Hall in Worcester and other artistic ventures that we would like.
What do we typically give him as a
Well,
grant?
we've given him the full grant. We've given him about 2/3 of the grant. I would recommend we give him 500 and see how we go.
Okay.
We're going to have some money left over, so we're going to have to change some of these things.
Right. We'll start. Oh, I did the wrong thing. We'll start adding back.
Well, so Clapham Hill is one we haven't discussed. They actually have 2 concerts held at Apple Tree, January and April, or they say plan to have 2 concerts. They have a very large budget. They have a lot of people that they support, generally speaking.
They were
Um,
only asking from Grafton as well. They didn't apply to other places.
Well, the way they see it, if you like, is that the concert's held in Grafton, so the town who's most likely to support them and should support them, if you like, is Grafton.
Mhm.
So these are two concerts in Grafton. It's quite an important thing for Grafton to have concerts being held, other than the ones the rec department does. In terms of classical performances, these are one of the few classical performances that's held in Grafton. The only problem is it's January. I've never managed to get there because it's always snowed.
This is performed at Apple Tree.
Yeah, it's just performed in
Yeah.
their hall. They're not sponsoring it, Pan. It's the venue.
Right, I'm sure they probably have to reserve the venue and the cost money to do
Yep.
that.
I believe that on the whole, the collaboration between Claffin and Apple Tree means that Apple Tree don't charge them much for performances. But their costs are pretty big because they have a lot of people and a lot of instruments, a lot of staff.
Is that the one their overall budget was like 80,000?
I can't
is that-
remember, but it's pretty damn big.
It was a lot.
Their budget is 7,250.
72.
7,250.
Mhm.
And 6,500 is to musician compensation. So a rental fee is not listed.
Yeah.
So my feeling is we should give them a reasonable amount because this is one of the few classical concerts that we actually have in Grafton. I'm not saying that they would stop doing it if we
Yeah.
didn't give them any money, but I think it is something we should be supporting.
Are you thinking like 800 or
I was thinking
higher?
about 2/3. I was thinking of 2/3 of their request. So 800, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that would be 800. Okay.
So we have $651 left at the moment.
Yeah, let's see who we can,
Who we
Up.
feel could get a bit more.
let's start at the top again here and come down. Oh, this is the master singers, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, Master Singers. Well, I mean, I don't know, but I suppose I probably feel that if I look at this list here that we have there on the page so far, that the only people I would consider giving a little bit more would be to Apple Tree, because it is a very local activity and singing.
Right, and one of the concerts is free for because they do it for the Grafton Celebrates the Holidays.
Right.
Part of it is that.
Yeah. So my recommendation is we might want to go up by 100 for them. Does anyone have any of the other ones on this page that they feel strongly about?
I'd like to give a little more to the Blackstone Valley Art Association.
Sure. 250,
that.
do you think?
I think so, yeah.
I
I'm
didn't
only
hear what,
hesitant about them because I haven't seen what they did for the last year, and that's the only reason I'm hesitating about them. So
I'm
250?
sorry, I couldn't hear the number you said.
250.
250. Okay, thank you. The chorus.
So we could go up to 750 for the Grafton racial inclusion and social equality.
That makes me happy.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, I'd be happy to support them as well. So
Well, yeah, of course. All right, we're still at 450 that we have. So that's the full boat.
And I would maybe recommend Clafton Hill Orchestra. Adding more to that.
100.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe 900 for that.
All right.
How much do we have left?
That should be 351.
So we could give. I mean, is there anyone that people really feel that is underrepresented?
Yeah, I was gonna
Underrepresented.
give maybe like a little bit more to the the Whitensville Community Center, because it's a well-known organization. You know, they do a lot of
It's very well established indeed.
and
Do we want to give them $250? Or were you just thinking of upping it by another 50?
I think 250 sounds good. I mean, they do have a very large costs, and they've had a very hard year.
Yeah, and
2021.
that's a nice program. All right, we have $250 left.
Well, my feeling is maybe give Apple Tree a bit more, if anything.
I would agree with that. Yeah. What do other people think? I don't want to just.
I
Yeah,
agree with
good.
that.
How much we have left again, Julie?
It
before
was
we do that?
250 left. It was $251 left, but
Well, we have to spend the one, remember? So
yeah,
maybe we should give them 800 and 800 for the moment and see what we. Yeah,
I gave them the $1.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I was going to suggest that.
they think that we actually thought about the numbers, right?
See, wait. Yeah, now we just have 150 left.
So are we able to meet any budget like in full, or I mean, other than the ones that we discussed?
Well, we could give the we could go back to the Juneteenth and give them a full amount, I guess.
I think we
Or
could.
nearly a full amount.
I could, because were they requesting 900?
900.
Yeah, so if we gave them 150, we get to 900.
Yeah, that'll bring us to,
I think we all feel that's, wherever the money, how the money gets spent is one thing, but the whole point is it's a pretty good cause. And it's,
Yeah.
it's a new program.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
I'm sorry if I'm making you all dizzy. I think that's good. Do we want to just go quickly do another scan down and then?
Yes, we'll have the vote from
Sure.
it, so we need to be sure we like it all.
Yeah.
I'm happy with all those.
I am too. I think the ones that we fully funded are really good choices.
I
I agree.
agree.
good to me.
All right.
I agree as well.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. I think that archaeology thing sounded really fun at the Millbury Street School.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that for fourth graders or?
I forget what grade it was, but I think it was fourth graders. I can't, yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna do an outreach or do a field trip, or is it gonna be like a?
Online learning program.
Yeah.
But they were going to get kits to excavate, I think. I think that's what a lot of the cost
Dig a
was.
hole in the garden. Well, I think if you dug anywhere in Grafton, you'd probably find something there.
Mhm.
So much industry's been here for so many years. So I'm happy with those amounts.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the whole thing. I think it's really great we have so many applications, because that really makes it easy for us to use all the money and really be sure we're spreading it, around. So
Yep. I haven't saved this yet. I just realized.
okay, you better do that.
Give me 2 seconds.
Definitely save.
It's 2022, right? That's what this
Yes,
was?
that's right. It's the 22 grants.
Grafton Culture Council grants. And H Drive.
And you'll send that back to me.
Oh, yeah.
Judy, for my.
Oh, looks like I didn't type it properly, but okay, I'll name it
Well,
properly and then
we
I'll
can guess what it means.
send
at
it to
least,
you.
know.
202.
Yeah.
It sounds like
yeah.
an error. Okay, so we need to have a motion to approve the grants, like we don't have to specifically state out what they are, but
No.
All right, I'll motion to approve the grants as is right now on the screen.
Okay.
I second.
all right. Mita,
Aye.
Christina,
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye. Sorry that I was on mute.
that's Pan,
Aye.
Danny,
Aye.
and Julie is aye. So that motion is passed. Wow, very good. What else do we have to decide today? So we don't have any guest members, I'm hoping. You know what, I'm gonna stop the screen share. And there is one attendee here, Marilyn. But I don't see any questions. Okay,
Sorry, did we have an external visitor?
we do. Marilyn's on mute right now, but I think she can talk if she wants to.
May we know who you are, Marilyn?
Oh, yes, hi. Yeah, I just had checked the town calendar. I wasn't sure if there was a school committee meeting. I forget what nights in go on. And I saw that you guys had a meeting and I was like, oh, let me see what they do. So, so I just thought I'd pop in on Zoom, and it was just interesting listening to you divvy up the money and what your process is. So I am glad I listened in.
No problem, Marilyn. I just need to make a note of the fact that you're present in our minutes, that's all. Do you have any questions, Marilyn?
No, I really don't. Like I said, I really was like, oh, let's see what these guys do. And yeah, it was an interesting process to listen to you. And you know, thank you for volunteering to do this.
Thank you for joining us. I think this is the first guest that we've had in quite a bit.
It is the first.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. I have 2 cats and they love Zoom. They just snuggle in and we listen to our Zoom, and yes,
All
it's
right,
very
Marilyn,
funny.
I have a cat too.
Yep, I do as
We hear the
well.
whole meeting.
Yep. Sometimes you can hear them participating.
Yeah. Usually mine are walking back and forth. You see a tail in front of my face very often.
Yes. That's
Okay, it was
funny.
great to meet you, Marilyn. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did.
Okay.
So Mita, what is the process now? You end up, will you do it online? The letters will go out?
No, I will do it by my normal method, which is
Okay.
send out individual emails to the participants. The
Okay,
agenda is, sorry, the agenda. The minutes of the meeting will reflect our decisions on the grants. And
Okay.
Sarah, I hope I'll probably just do that and then I'll hand it over to you completely.
Okay, sounds good.
If that's okay, I'm on a roll here. What I would try and get them out, the letters out by January the 15th. That's my deadline. But I will probably try and do it before Christmas. And so I'll be telling each individual grant application person that they know they've got a grant. Just to reflect on this a bit, most of them will not have specific recommendations, but I will in each case tell them that one of the requirements is that the performance must go ahead as near as possible in the date and the venue that they have already told us, and that if they have to change anything, they must let us know. If they had to change anything seriously, we might need to convene another meeting to discuss that individual grant. So you may not have finished for 2022 yet. We may still have to meet again, but at the moment, I don't anticipate any issues on that. So I'll be sending those letters out next week. I said I had in operations. I'm going to do it before that. What we would probably plan would be to have a follow-up meeting in late January in order to discuss just a touch base, but also so the minutes can be approved and posted.
Okay.
So
Do we
I
want
don't
to
have
try
a date
picking
at
a
the
date?
moment. Well, if you want to, Chair, please go ahead.
Let me call up my calendar.
I was gonna say like these guys have a sort of a timeline to either accept our proposal or choose to use the funds.
They normally are given a year and a month. I give them a year and a month. Officially it's a year, but I give them a year and a month to ask for reimbursement. Submit proof of the activity that they actually publicize the Massachusetts Cultural Council adequately, and basically fill in a reimbursement form. So that they have a year and a month from the time I send the letters out, which is one reason I don't send them out too early, because otherwise, you know, it cuts them short a bit. So if I send them out in early January, then they have until the end of February 2023 to ask for reimbursement.
Yeah, and they do that through the website.
They do that by sending Grafton Cultural Council Gmail account
Okay.
a
I thought it was
request
just, yeah.
for reimbursement. I would just say that given the COVID situation, we are more flexible about these timelines than we were before. So if someone had to delay performance to January 2023, I would still think that was reasonable. Want to try and get reimbursement requests in before the end of June, so that, you know, it's within that fiscal year.
Mhm.
So are we thinking of a meeting maybe the week of the 16th, like the Wednesday, the 19th, or Wednesday, the 26th of January?
Can we make it a little later than that, Julie, so I can then confirm the annual report?
The 26th would be Wednesday, the last Wednesday in January,
Sounds good to me.
or we could go to February 2nd.
Anyone have any opinions on that?
Either way.
Well, then it's Groundhog Day on February.
Yeah, I see that.
We might be in for a surprise.
Why don't we
I'm
make
fine
it the
with
later
that.
date, Julie, just in
The-
case they have to move the report again because of the
Oh,
issues with their new website?
a lot of, yeah, because it did get pushed out quite a bit. All right, so we'll shoot for February 2nd at, is 6:30 a good time for everyone? Or
for
could
me.
it be a 7 o'clock if we're just gonna meet on Zoom? It would be quick and like, I don't know what,
There's no real agenda. It will just be a follow-up and any planning for any publicity we were thinking about doing in the summer.
okay,
So 7.
I think 7. That way
That's
people
good.
can get home and have dinner hopefully before they can.
Yeah, I agree.
Sounds good to
Okay.
me.
So it's gonna be by Zoom, yeah?
I think so. I mean, we could meet in person, but at this
I would-
point,
I would
I
rather
think it's
propose
better
Zoom.
do Zoom.
I think it's best to do Zoom, particularly if it's February. I mean, we don't want to
Yeah.
have it cancelled.
Ah, that's
Because
true.
of the weather.
That's
Mhm.
true. There'd be no excuse for snow.
And Julie, can you set up a Zoom event and send out the link?
So what will happen is that I will ask the town set up a Zoom meeting. That's what they do. And
Yeah,
they will then send out an invitation to you all.
yeah. I'm just putting it in my calendar as a reminder right now, but then it'll
It'll
get
also
sent
be in
out.
the minutes. It'll be in the minutes, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got it down in my calendar. So-
Great. Anyone got any other questions about the procedure?
No.
Okay,
All right. Calling it at 7:30. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I
to
motion.
adjourn.
Christina and I were like, let's
Sorry,
both do it.
You both motion, you both second. You're all set. All right, Mita,
Sorry.
yeah, aye, sorry. Yeah, aye.
Christina,
Hi.
Sarah,
Hi.
Pan,
I think we just, aye.
Danny,
Aye.
and Julie, I.